Today, we're diving into the delightful world of baked apple roses, a dessert that beautifully combines elegance and simplicity. These charming treats are not only visually stunning but also incredibly delicious, making them a perfect choice for impressing guests or enjoying a cozy night in. The concept of baked apple roses involves thinly sliced apples arranged in a way that resembles blooming roses, all nestled within a flaky pastry. This creative presentation elevates a classic dessert into a show-stopping centerpiece that is sure to capture attention. What's truly remarkable about this recipe is its simplicity. Despite the impressive appearance, the steps are straightforward and easy to follow. You don't need to be a professional baker to create these gorgeous treats. With just a few ingredients, including fresh apples, puff pastry, and a sprinkle of cinnamon, you can whip up a batch that looks like it came straight from a gourmet bakery. Throughout this video, I'll guide you step by step, ensuring that you feel confident in your baking skills. By the end, you'll not only have a delicious dessert to savor, but also the knowledge to recreate it whenever the mood strikes. So gather your ingredients and get ready to follow along as we transform simple apples and pastry into a stunning dessert that will wow your family and friends. Let's get started on making these baked apple roses that are as delightful to eat as they are to behold. Now that we're ready to create our baked apple roses, let's focus on preparing the apples, which is a crucial step in achieving the best results. For this recipe, I recommend using red apples such as Fuji or Gala, as they not only provide a beautiful color but also have the perfect balance of sweetness and tartness for baking. The first step is to slice the apples, and it's essential to make thin, even slices. This ensures that they cook uniformly and bend easily, allowing us to create those lovely rose shapes. Aim for slices that are about 1/8 of an inch thick. If you have a mandolin slicer, this can be a great tool to achieve consistent thickness. Once you have your apple slices ready, the next step is to soften them, which will make them much easier to work with. A quick and effective method for softening apples is to use the microwave. Place your apple slices in a microwave-safe bowl and add a splash of water to create steam. Cover the bowl with a microwave-safe lid or plate, and heat the apples in the microwave for about 30 seconds to a minute, checking frequently. You want them to be pliable, but not mushy. This softening process is key to shaping the apples into beautiful rose petals without breaking them. With your apples perfectly sliced and softened, you're now ready to move on to the next exciting step in creating your stunning baked apple roses. Now that our apples are prepped and ready, let's turn our attention to the puff pastry, which is the foundation of our baked apple roses. Puff pastry is a fantastic choice for this dessert because it bakes up light, flaky, and golden, creating a beautiful contrast with the tender apples. Start by taking your puff pastry out of the refrigerator and letting it sit for a few minutes to soften slightly. This will make it easier to roll out. Once it's pliable, place the pastry on a lightly floured surface and begin rolling it out. Aim for a thickness of about 1/8 of an inch. This will ensure that it bakes evenly and holds the apple slices well. As you roll, be sure to keep the dough as even as possible. Uneven rolling can lead to inconsistent baking, with some parts overcooked, while others remain underdone. If you find that the edges are thicker, gently trim them to maintain uniformity. If you prefer, you can also use biscuit dough as an alternative to puff pastry. While it won't have the same flaky texture, it can still yield delicious results and is often easier to work with. Just roll it out to the same thickness as the puff pastry. Once your pastry is rolled out evenly, you're ready to cut it into strips for assembling your apple roses. This step is crucial, as the strips will hold the apple slices and create that beautiful rose shape. Let's move on to the next part of our delicious journey. Now that we have our puff pastry rolled out and our apple slices softened, it's time to assemble our stunning baked apple roses. Begin by cutting the rolled pastry into strips, about 2 inches wide. This width is perfect for holding the apple slices while allowing for a beautiful presentation. Next, take your apple slices and strategically place them along the top edge of the pastry strip, overlapping them slightly. This overlapping not only enhances the visual appeal, but also mimics the petals of a rose, creating that lovely floral effect. Once you have arranged the apple slices, it's time to fold the pastry. Gently fold the bottom edge of the pastry strip up over the apple slices, securing them in place. This folding technique is essential, as it keeps the apples nestled within the pastry while also forming the rose shape. As you roll the pastry strip from one end to the other, be sure to keep the apple slices aligned so they maintain their beautiful arrangement. Encourage yourself to get creative during this assembly process. You can experiment with the arrangement of the apple slices using different colors or varieties of apples for a unique look. Additionally, consider adding a sprinkle of cinnamon or a drizzle of honey between the layers for extra flavor. Each rose can be a little different, showcasing your personal touch. Once you've rolled up the pastry with the apple slices, place the roses in a muffin tin to help them hold their shape while baking. Let's move on to the final steps of baking these delightful treats. Now that our apple roses are beautifully assembled, it's time to bake them to perfection. Preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit, which is the ideal temperature for achieving that golden flaky pastry while ensuring the apples cook through. Once the oven is preheated, place your assembled apple roses in a muffin tin or individual ramekins. Using these baking vessels not only helps the roses maintain their shape, but also allows for even cooking, ensuring that every bite is deliciously tender and flaky. Bake the apple roses for about 30 to 35 minutes, or until the pastry is golden brown and the apples are tender. Keep an eye on them during the last few minutes of baking. If they start to brown too quickly, you can cover them loosely with aluminum foil to prevent burning. After baking, it's essential to let the roses cool for a few minutes before attempting to remove them. This cooling period allows the pastry to set slightly, making it easier to handle. To safely remove the baked apple roses from the ramekins or muffin tin, gently run a butter knife around the edges to loosen them. Then, carefully invert the ramekin or muffin tin onto a plate, giving it a gentle tap if needed. If any apples stick, you can use the knife to help release them without damaging the rose shape. Once removed, you can dust the baked apple roses with powdered sugar or drizzle them with caramel sauce for an extra touch of sweetness. Enjoy your beautiful and delicious creations. Now that our baked apple roses are perfectly baked and cooled, it's time to add those finishing touches that will elevate their presentation and make them truly irresistible. One simple yet effective way to enhance their visual appeal is by giving them a light dusting of powdered sugar. This not only adds a touch of elegance but also creates a beautiful contrast against the warm golden pastry and vibrant apple slices. Just use a fine mesh sieve to sprinkle the sugar evenly over the top, ensuring a delicate and even coating. This not only adds a touch of elegance but also creates a beautiful contrast against the warm golden pastry and vibrant apple slices. Just use a fine mesh sieve to sprinkle the sugar evenly over the top, ensuring a delicate and even coating. Additionally, feel free to adjust the sweetness of your dessert to suit your personal taste. If you prefer a sweeter treat, consider drizzling a bit of caramel sauce or honey over the top, or even adding a dollop of whipped cream or a scoop of vanilla ice cream on the side. These additions not only enhance the flavor, but also contribute to the overall presentation, making your dessert even more enticing. Remember, the importance of presentation cannot be overstated when it comes to desserts. A beautifully presented dish can elevate the dining experience, making it feel special and inviting. Arrange the baked apple roses on a decorative plate, perhaps garnishing with a sprig of mint or a few fresh berries for a pop of color. This thoughtful presentation will not only impress your guests but also make the dessert more enjoyable to eat. With these finishing touches, your baked apple roses will be a stunning centerpiece that's as delightful to look at as it is to savor. As we wrap up our delightful journey into the world of baked apple roses, let's recap the key steps that will help you create these stunning desserts. First, we prepared our apples by slicing them thinly and softening them in the microwave for easy handling. Next, we rolled out our puff pastry, ensuring it was evenly thick for consistent baking. Then, We strategically layered the apple slices on the pastry, folded it to secure the apples, and rolled it into beautiful rose shapes. After baking them to golden perfection, we added finishing touches like a dusting of powdered sugar to enhance their visual appeal. Now it's your turn to try this recipe. I encourage you to get creative with your apple arrangements and toppings, adjusting the sweetness to your liking. Don't forget to share your results with us. We'd love to see how your baked apple roses turn out. Whether you're making them for a special occasion or just to treat yourself, these desserts are sure to impress. If you enjoyed this video and want to explore more delicious recipes, be sure to subscribe to our channel and give us a thumbs up. Your support helps us continue to bring you more culinary inspiration. Also, check out foodwishes.com for a treasure trove of recipes and tips that will elevate your cooking game. Thank you for joining me today, and happy baking. I can't wait to see your beautiful creations.